the president, 20 million appropriated, 20 billion appropriated, 20 billion release. You go to chief security officer, you see 112 million, 25%, 25 million release out of 112 million. Now, all those, we need an explanation as what they are. But what is cardinal, why I read this question is, why is the office of the chief of staff carries 20 billion and the office of the president has less than 1 billion, 799 million, and then the office of the vice president has 75 million? You see the number of releases. The president has about 62 to 63% release, but the office of the vice president, 33 million, that's less than 18%. And the office of the chief of staff, 33 million.
Less than 5%.
Less than 5%. Less than 5%. So why are these discrepancies? That's one. Just jot it, and then you go to
all right, Barrister, let me just summarize this because we're taking too much time here. I don't know, are you aware of this what I just played now?
I watched the video before.
Okay. Now, yes, you can, the chief of staff in the budget, I think, has 20 billion, for God's sake. 20 and billion.
100% was released.
100% of 20 billion. Where have you had such kind of thing? 100% of 20 billion was released to the chief of staff, while the vice president's office only first. I've not seen this kind of, okay, vice president, I understand they are not, it's not just that too busy. I think his allocation is about 700 and something million naira. So out of this 700 and something million, only 33 million was released. Why Gbajabiamila's office, the chief of staff's office, I don't know, 20 billion naira, for God's sake. What is the chief of staff doing with, what is his office administering with 20 billion naira? And that is one. Secondly, how come they release the entire funds to him?
Yes, you see, when I first saw that video, I said, look, Nigeria is happening again. These things can only happen in Nigeria. This chief of staff is an unelected official.
Honestly.
The office is not even constitutional. It's just a mere aid to the president. The vice president, who is constitutionally empowered, and who will become president if anything happens to the president. How come only 33 million was released to his office? It beats my imagination. I was hoping that when I first saw the Abdul Ningi putting these statistics to the people that came, I thought the video would extend to their replies. But it appeared as if they wanted to give them whether another date or whether the video was cut at that point. I was very interested in hearing what they will say in answer to that, to justify why the chief of staff had to have a 20 billion budget and then 100% released to him. And again, I was going to ask, why is the chief of staff budget separate and the president's budget separate? It's not, the chief of staff is the chief of staff to the president. He is the one that carries out all expenditure of the president. So how do you have his own budget separate, then another budget for the president's office? What does that mean? So this is Nigeria happening. And how can you not have, how will you have that kind of budget and you will not put yourself in the governorship race in Lagos State. So when we discuss or we talk about what was happening, you remember the last show we talked about the Speaker of the House of Assembly of Lagos being removed.
Yes.
And we talk about the politics behind it, people who were lined up to be governor, which himself was part of it. And I mentioned the Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff, who is also in the running. If you have that kind of budget, this is 1 year budget.
Honestly.
This is 1 year budget. And when you count the number of years, if you have that money, it means you are preparing to go and deploy it in your gubernatorial ambition. And being the chief of staff to the president, you can walk into any budget office, into the Minister of Finance, and get your allocation, budgetary allocation released. Everybody is afraid of you because to see the president, to get your memo to the president, it must pass through the chief of staff. Even the ministers, if you have a memo for the president, it must pass through the chief of staff. So everybody will not talk to the chief of staff. Because when you want something in your ministry or in your parastatal or department, you have to beg him to get it to the president and possibly put 1 or 2 words for acceptance of your memo. So the chief of staff office is very, very consequential, very important, and it can get their way throughout the entire apparatus of government.
Barrister, is it possible for such kind of humongous, such amount of money to be released in full? Apart from in full, sir, even in trickles, like let's even say in trickles, without the consent of the president that he is actually working directly under?
Of course, it can be released without, once the budget is passed for a ministry or for, budget is, they are attached to certain projects. No money is free.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Budgeted expense is attached to a particular project.
Yes.
All you need, once the budget is passed and assented to by the president, for your own budgetary expenditure, all you need to do is to get a memo, approved warrant from the president, and then the Minister of Finance will release the fund.
Now, my point is...
Based on, the release is supposed to be based on incoming or accumulated
that is
good revenue.
That's the point I was trying to make. That's my point.
Exactly.
Now, if budget is based on this, remember, Barrister, budget is based on non-available, non-immediate, available,
expected
correct,
revenue.
Non-immediate available resource funds. So it's a kind of futuristic. It's a projection of what what will be generated at the end of the year, from the beginning of the year to the. So it will, the money, the generation of fund will be in installments. So if the generation of resources, if the revenue is in installments, how come this money was released? 20 billion was released to this man's office in bulk at once, and especially when Nigeria is almost bankrupt at this point. Where did we get that kind of money?
That is not a difficult question. 20 billion now in Nigeria, releasing it by warrant is not a difficult thing. The revenue that comes, we sell oil monthly.
Yes.
We have also...
we have debt on the oil now.
We have internal revenue. We have a lot of other sources of revenue that are coming. The question is, your relationship with the Minister of Finance that releases the money and the president is what makes a priority in the release of the funds by warrant.
So other sectors will suffer. That's the point.
As other sectors are having 100% releases, other sectors must, of necessity, suffer from their release.
Yeah, that's the point.
You are taking from them what you should have been given to, and that is why maybe somebody will have a legitimate business, legitimate issue to solve in his budget, but he will not achieve the release.
Yeah.
They will tell you the money is not around you. Keep it, keep your voucher, keep it until. Meanwhile, the same revenue has been appropriated by another powerful minister or another powerful allotee of the budget. That is just it.
It's so sad, honestly. It's so sad. I don't know. This Bola Tinubu, like I don't know. Okay, you said he can do it without the consent of the president. But honestly, I may not agree with you in this.
No,
because 20 billion naira is not a cheap. It's not child's play.
I did not say it will be without the consent of the president. For the warrants to be issued, memos have to go to, everybody has a limit.
Yes.
Of expenditure. Up to a certain amount, you have to get presidential approval. If your approval as a minister, I know dating back to Obasanjo, it was 25 million. A minister could approve money and it will be paid. But if it's more than that, you will need the ministerial, presidential approval. If it reaches a certain amount, you need the full cabinet to approve. But having been approved as a budget, a person like the chief of staff needing the money to be released has to make a memo to the president for the president to approve. Once that approval is done, the Minister of Finance releases it in accordance with the revenue on ground. So even if you have many approved warrants from the president, it is still there's a discretion in the Ministry of Finance to release it subject to availability of funds on ground before those warrants could be paid. But if you are a powerful person whom the Minister of Finance to look up to because you can help him or her with the president, you can achieve your priority in the release of funds.
This is ridiculous. It is wicked. I'm telling you. I've said it. You and I have, of course. I've said it, and I think you agreed with me that these people, they are just. You, of course, you said it that this man was never prepared to be the president. Me, my own is that he's just out there to fleece Nigeria, calculatedly fleece Nigeria together with his cohorts, which includes Gbajabiamila as well. So it is so sad that we Nigerians will just stand by and suffer, and some Nigerians go bankrupt, and they'll just sit by and watch this man milk Nigeria dry. The man and his family and cronies milk Nigeria dry. It's so sad. It's so sad. All right, Barrister, thank you so very much. Thank you for your time. It's been a long day. God bless you for actually always giving up the privilege to actually be with you all the time. You've always, no matter how busy you are, you always create time. Barrister, thank you once again.
Thank you too.
All right, viewers, see you again next time, and remain blessed.